Hello students, welcome to Econ 2250 Statistics for Economists. In this tutorial video I'm going to show you how to use STATA. So in this particular video I'm going to show you the basics of STATA, which will include how to import the data and how to export the data and how to capture your codes and store your codes. In the next videos we are going to talk about how to do statistical analysis, which we are going to do a lot in this course. So first I want to show you how to access the STATA on your Georgia Tech virtual lab. So for that you will just go to your browser, just search Georgia Tech STATA, and you will see this one, which is the virtual lab overview. Click on. So virtual lab will give you access to different statistical softwares. You can see ArcGIS, that's a GIS software. eViews, that's also a economic software. MATLAB, RStudio, SPSS, and this is your STATA. So first you will have to log into VLab, which is virtual lab, on the My Cloud. Click on it. Okay, log on. Okay, so this is my favorite, and if you don't see anything here, you will just go to desktop, and then you can also choose from here. So we'll go to IAC, Evan Allen College Stats. Then you will show open. Okay, it will take some time. Okay, so this will be your screen after we get into the virtual lab. So this is your virtual screen of the virtual computer, and you can see there are tons of softwares from MATLAB, R, lot, W. So you'll find STATA 17 there. If you don't see it here, you just go here, all programs, and you will see STATA, or you can just type it in here, STATA. You can see you have two softwares here, STATA MP 16, STATA MP 17, 64 bits. So both of them are more or less same. There are some extra add-ons in the STATA MP which will not be important for our course, but probably if you do advanced level econometrics, probably you would be happy to use STATA 17 instead of STATA 16. They are same, totally same. So you can just click here, STATA 17, and this will be your screen. So I already have STATA 17 on my computer, so I don't need the virtual lab, but if you don't purchase it, you can use it here in the virtual lab. So I'm going to switch back to my computer, and I will show how to use it. So I'm back to the STATA. So you can do this like aesthetic things. So I always put in the black background, so it's good for my eyes. You can do it too if you use STATA a lot, and as a student and a teacher and researcher, I have to use the STATA a lot. So I always use the black background. And let's start. So first let's say how many types of STATA are there. So STATA, there are like 4 different types of STATA. So one is the STATA MP, which we are using. There is another one called STATA SE. So SE stands for Special Edition. There is STATA Intercooled and Small STATA. So there's 4 different kinds of STATA, depends on its power or ability to do statistical analysis. So the best one or the most powerful one is MP, STATA MP, what we are using right now. So you can see from the initial look, here is different windows. So one window is your command window here, command window here. So if you put something here, let's say I put clear, which is a very common command. Clear means everything in your memory will be lost. You put clear and you see it's here, it works. If it doesn't work, it will be a red color. So you see the command will goes to here, so you will know your first command was clear, so you can switch back to or refer back to your commands. So let's say if I make a mistake, instead of clear, let's say put a spelling mistake. Let's see what happens. See, it's a red line now. So our second code is wrong. So it says command clearer is unrecognized. So this data cannot recognize it. If we put the real one, you see it's already got a different color. That means the code is valid. Put enter. You see it works. So number 1, number 3 worked, and they are in like regular color. Number 2 command didn't work. That's why it's in red color. So this is the command window. So you can put all the commands here and you will get the command number and it will show whether it works or not. So 199 is error. R then bracket of the number, that means error, and you will have the red color. So this is your command box. This is also your command box. On this portion you have the variables. Right now we haven't imported any data, so it's empty, no data here. And this is the properties of the variables. We'll learn in our first class probably what is variable, what is data, what is elements, different kinds of data. So I don't want to get into those right now, but I want to show that this is just the variables port or variable windows. All the variables will be listed here. Now STATA is a dual in nature, in the sense that it has the command box, so you can write the command, or you can use the GUI, the graphical user interface. So you can do it from here also. From here you can open the file from the file section. In edit section you can edit different things, copy, paste. Data section, which is very important, you can do a lot of analysis like describe the data, data editor, variable manager. You can sort it, you can combine it. Then graphics has all the graphical tools, different histogram, diagram, chart, those things. Then you have statistics. This will be very important for your econometrics class, which is going to be like the 3000 level econometrics class you are going to take after this class. So you will have all the regression, time series, endogenous covariates. You will use it a lot. Then you have user, you have window, history, command, result, and help. So you can use these things to do all the analysis, or you can use the command box. So in this course we are going to use the command box. We are not, most of the cases we are not going to use the GUI, because that's little bit easier, and then you're not going to use the GUI in your econometrics course. You have to write the code. So it's better to get the habit of writing code. So I would say try not to use any of the GUI. There will be some of the commands which are easier on GUI comparing to writing the command. Those things you can use it, and I'm going to tell you what are those things in this video. So you get a general idea. Now for example, how will you put the command? So one way is GUI section. You can open the file, you can do different analysis. That's one way of putting the command. Another way I just show you, like clear here, writing here in the command section, it will go there. But the best way of writing the command is using something called do file. So it's a do file. So how to go to the do file? So you will see here the pencil box. So it says new do file editor. So you'll click it. So this is your do file. So you can write here all the commands. Let's say I write the same command, clear, clearing the memory. It also give you hints how to use the syntax. Click enter. Now you have to select it like this, like 1 or 2 alphabets or you can use A, anyway will work. And then you will have the run tool. So it says execute selection do. You execute it, come here, you see it's already executed in here, and also in the command section you see there is execution from the do file. So do file is a great tool because it has all your commands in memory, so you can use it anytime. You don't need to write down again and again and again in the command section. So you will always use the do file, so you will have a record of what commands you have used. Okay, so third thing I want to talk about the data format, how many formats of data here. So usually we're going to use these 4 types of data. So I write it down. The first one is econ 2250 tutorial. So this is if you look at the type, it's a STATA do file. So do file is your record file. This is not your data. This is just all the commands you put. So this is your do file. So the type is .do file. Second one is you're very familiar with probably, which is the Excel file, but it's comma separated values. So CSV file, which is probably the most common files you will find online. And number 3 is your DTA file. So DTA file is the STATA data. So this is the same thing as the CSV, but CSV in Excel, DTA in STATA, same thing, just different data set. So once you load your CSV file into the STATA, this will be your default STATA data set. And number 4 is your workbook file or Excel file. So this is not the CSV, this is not comma separated. So this is the worksheet file, and you can also import it to a STATA and then convert it to DTA file. So our goal would be mostly convert everything in .dta file and put all the commands in do file. So do file and DTA file is the one we're going to work on. We're not going to work mostly on the CSV or Excel file. We'll always convert to DTA file. Okay, now so we have 4 different data type: do file, then our CSV file, then our .dta file, and then we have Excel file. So you want to import all of this. So do file is very easy. You will just click it. That's your do file. Okay, so that's easy. What about the other 3 different files? DTA file, you can also click on it and get into the file. So you get into the DTA file, and then there's 2 ways to do it, but there are other ways. Let's say we want to import the CSV file, so that will be easy. So first I want to show you how to do it from using the GUI, graphical user interface. So you'll go to file, then you go down, and then you see import, Excel, text data, SPSS, SAS, text data, and a lot of things. So you can see here text data delimited.csv, right? You click on it. After that, it's written file to import. So which file you want to import? So we'll click here and we go to our tutorial. So this is the CSV file, and you will see a preview here. If you want to change anything, you can change from here. So everything is automatic and I'm not going to change anything. If I click OK, now you see here import delimited this file and 91 variables and more than 30,000 observation. In the classroom we are going to learn what is variable and what is observation, but right now let's say this is something we're going to talk about. but we have 91 variables and 33,000 observation. Okay, so how to see our variables and how to see our observation? You can see in the variables window we have all the name of the variables. They are labels, so labels mean what they want, what they are really. So for example, if you have let's say pets, so this is, you can write here pedestrian, so you will know what pets stands for. And you have, if you put one variable, if you select one, it gives you all the properties of the variable. There's a byte, what's the format, what's the name, what's the label. And if you want to see all the data together, you will go here. You see here, data editor browse. So you click, you see all the data is here. So we have a state name, state name, then ST case. So this is the data for accident file. So how many accidents happen in different state and different counties on a daily basis. So you can see all the file here. Okay, this is the graphical user interface way. How about we do it in like our way, like using the command? So for that, first we have to clear this file from our memory. So you write clear and it will be gone. So now, as I said before, that we are not going to using the command section here because it will be gone once you close it. So we'll write everything in the do file. So that will be our first code. So you will say import, then you see already given hints. You want delimited, then you double bracket. Okay, now what you need to do is you have to go to that file section and see, this is the CSV file. So what is the, you go properties and see the location, that's your computer location. So Control C, copy it, go back, put it here. So this is the location, but this is not, it doesn't have the file name, because in the same location we have several files. So the STATA doesn't know which file to load. So you have to write down the file name. So for that, another one, and then you click on it, Control C, write down the name csv dot csv. So now select it little bit, execute the command. Now go back, see, do file command, so it command executed. And if you make any mistake in any of these lines, it will be red. So let's show you again. First clear it, so put clear. Okay, now go back and make a mistake. Let's say instead of delimited we put spelling mistake, delimited. Okay, run it again, it will be wrong. See, unknown sub command delimited, so we made a mistake. Okay, clear again, go back, correct our mistake, select again, execute. Now you see it works. Okay, that's one way. Let's see, I want to see the variable's name. So last time we did this way, so which is data editor browse, so we can browse it. What about we want to do it without, in our way, like our command way, not the GUI way? So you go here and you write, let's say bro stands for browse, so you have to browse the data. So bro, select, execute. See, it works now. So you can see the command section is much more difficult to do comparing to this way. There are other easier way to import the data we are gonna show later in this video. So But up to this point, you know, the import data from here looks easier comparing to writing the command, but we have several shortcuts where you will see that it's easier to use the command instead of this thing, because these things are quite manual. Okay, so we know how to import the CSV file into STATA and how to import. Now we're going to show you how to import the Excel file. So write down clear. Let's show it in the GUI way, graphical user interface. You go to import, you go to Excel spreadsheet. So Excel spreadsheet has two format. One is the .xls, another one is .xlsx. So you'll go this way, we'll browse, we'll go to tutorial. There is only one Excel file, click on it. Now in this case you will see import first row as variable name, click on it. So all the variables in the first row will be your variable, the other one will be your data points. So click on OK, and this one is also important, preserve. So if you preserve it, so all the file name in the Excel file will be as usual. If you put lower, all the files will be in the lowercase. If you put upper, all the variable name would be in uppercase. So in this case we are using preserve. Put OK. Okay, now write down bro. You can see the data set. So in this data set, this is actually a school data file. So you have date, you have test date, you have district number, district name, school name, grade, absent, their average score, different exams. Okay, so this is the GUI way, graphical user interface way, but we want to do it in our way, command way. We should be a little lengthy, but we can do it. So clear, go back to our do file. Okay, write down again import. This time you will do Excel, import Excel, then again using the bracket, go back, and then you do properties, location, put it here, then put the file name, Ctrl C. Now what do you write at the end? So for the CSV file we write .csv. For this file we will write .xlsx. So like .xlsx. Okay, then that's not end. You have to write something else. What you need to write, you write sheet and you put it bracket, then you have to write first row, FIRST, first row, meaning that your first row data will be the variable. Okay, I think that's it. Select it, select it, and then execute. You see it's executed well from the do file. Again you write, let's do it from the do file. Always use the do file. You write bro, and then gain it. Okay, so we show how to import the DTA file directly. Just click on it. How to use the do file, just click on it, and how to import the delimited file. You can do two ways. One is this way, using the import that way, or you can write down the code, directly write down the code. And then Excel, same two ways. One is the GUI way, graphical user interface, another one is this way, or you write down the code. Okay, these are our import, how to import the data. Let's show you, there is another thing I want to mention, which is about the do file. So for example, you write this code, like hundreds of code. How do you know what you did with the data? You don't know it. So to keep track, you will write down what you did. So for that you will use the star sign. So shift 8, that will give you a star. Now you write, I am importing a .csv file from my tutorial folder to show my students. Okay, so you know what you did here. Similarly, you can write here, before bro, you can just write again, I want to browse the data. So whenever you have it, even if you come back after 6 months, look at the data, you will know what you did here. So bro stands for browse, so you don't need to relearn the whole thing again, you just know it. So it's a great way. Always put the command, and I always say first you will write your name here. So let's say this .do file is created by your name for making tutorial videos. Okay, so you'll always write down the things, so you'll know what you're doing. Then you will save it. So let's say Control S. So you can write it here. Let's say tutorial version 2. Save. Now your file is saved. So you can go back our folder, you see tutorial version 2. So you can just directly click on it, get it here. Okay, what about, for example, right now we are using tutorial version 2, which is written here. What about we want to use this one also, like side by side, to compare? So for that reason you will just go here. So this is file section, open, and then you see tutorial version 2 econ tutorial. So you will see econ tutorial, this is one do file, tutorial version 2 another do file. So you don't need it right now. Let's close it. And then if you want to find another new file, new do file, so you want to copy paste this file to another file, you will just write here new do file. So you will get a new untitled. So you don't need it right now. Okay, so this is our how to import and how to use the do file. Next thing I want to show you, if you look at here, this says C. So this is in the C folder, study, PhD, so for 5th semester, econ 2250, STATA tutorial. So it's a long location. This location is unique to my computer. Your computer location, your file's location is different from my file location. So if I give you this do file and if you use it on your computer, it's not gonna work. So we have to do something so that whoever use it, if he has the data, doesn't matter where his file is located, which folder, it will work. To do that, we have to do something called relative path. So for relative path, we'll just write down here. You will write set up the relative path. Set up the relative path. How to do the relative path? So you will write C D, then double bracket. Now you go back and click on here. So this is your location. Control C. Click on here. Now select it, execute it. You see, this is our relative path. So if you have the data and if you have this do file and you want to use it in your computer, you will just write it down your files location folder, and then every code after that will work. So how do you know that our STATA file already has a relative path or not? So for that, you write pwd. Let's write it on our do file. So let's write how to know the relative path of our do file. So you write pwd. I think it stands for pathway directory or something like that. So okay, select it, execute it. pwd. So this is your path. This is your relative path. Okay, we want to see how many files are there in the relative path. So if you go here, there are different files. We want to see it in our STATA. So you will just write dir, which stands for directory. So you see, there are all the files name listed here. We see one is do file, one is CSV file, one is DTF file, one is Excel file, another one is another do file. You see, in the same order. Even you know the memory also. So this is only 0K. This is very big file, 22 megabyte. This is 2000 kilobyte, 1500 kilobyte, and so forth. So you will know all those things. Okay, so you know how to use the relative path. So once our relative path is created, it will be easy to import. So instead of writing these long codes, you can use very shorter one once you set up the relative path. So our relative path is set up. Now we want to import, let's say, our DTF file. So our DTF file, what's the name of our DTF file? STATA dataset. DTF file is MCA. So okay, let's Control C. So you just write use name of the file, select it, execute it. See, so easy. Right, bro, you have the browser. So see, it's very easy. You just have to write use and then what's the name of the file, because you already tell STATA where is the location of your folder. So they know whatever the files are there in that folder, they know the name. If you don't put the relative path, then you have to go through all the long way, import Excel, long way. So relative path will make your life easier. And then what about we want to import a, let's say, delimited file? How can we do that? So for that, you will write first you will clear, then you will write import delimited, and then you write using, import delimited using, and then you will go here or see your CSV file. Okay, this is your CSV file name. Control C, you put it here. See, it's imported. So you can see here, previously we write so big code, import delimited, and long way you have to put what is the csv.csv. Instead of doing that, just write, once you set up the relative path, it's easier to import the data. Similarly, if we want to import our Excel file, that will be easier too. So clear it first. For Excel file, you will write import Excel, then what's the name of your file? So Excel file is in this one, Excel file. Control C, so put the name, and then you will write first row. Okay, let's see if it works. Yes, it works. So if you write browse, see, it works. So you can compare it and see how easier it is, right, to import the Excel file or CSV file after you set up the relative path. So previously the file was so big, this big, and now the file is so small. You don't have to do many work. So relative path will make your life easier. Okay. So another thing I want to mention is about the log file. So you see in the do file you have all the codes, but you don't have the result. If you see, this is your result window, right? This is your result window, whatever result you get. But in the do file you only have your commands, not your results. So if you want to capture the result, then you have to use the log file. So log file is actually text file which can be read by any text software like .txt or Microsoft Word. So for that, you have to do is, before, for example, we want to capture all the result from the first code to the last code. So in that case, once you put your relative path, even before your relative path, you can just write down the log file. But before that, you have to make sure that no other log file is in use. So you have to clear all the log file. If you put clear sign, that will not get rid of the log file. So you have to first say capture, then you will say log, then put close. So all the log file will be closed. You see, so the code works. Thank God all the codes are working. Sometimes it doesn't work if you make any mistakes. So once you close all the log files, then you start your own log file. So for that you will use log using, so give tutorial, let's say tutorial dot log. So this is dot log file, dot log, then comma, then you want to replace, if there is already a log file with the name tutorial, we want to replace it. So you put replace, then you put text. Why you put text? Because you want to be read by the text file, so that's why you put text. Then you put name. So if you want to, for example, if you have hundreds of log files, how do you know which log file you're referring to? So you need a name. So let's say meow. Okay, then select it, execute it. You see now the name is meow, and then the log file location, the log type text, because we put it in the syntax text, that's why it's text. and opened on, so it gives the date when it opens. And then you do all the things, right? So you, let's say you import this file, let's say this one. You have to clear first, and then say put this thing. Okay, now we do all the things, and then we want to close the log file. So you will write log close, right? So log close, then you have to write down the name of your log file. So you will write, let's say meow, select it, and then you will execute it. To execution, you see log close, so it's closed now. So you go back, you see tutorial, and you can see whatever we did, everything is captured. So all your result window, so this is your result window, all the result window is captured in this log file. So even if after you close it, you go back to your text file, you will see what result you got, what did you make mistake. For example, this place I made a mistake, this place I made a mistake. So you know where you make mistake, you know the result, you know all the tables that we are gonna talk about later. So you already know how to use do file, you know how to use log file, you know how to import. Now let's see, we want to export the data. So for that, let's clear everything again. Clear. Let's see, we want to, what should I do? Import the data. But we can import from external, import from outside, or there are some files which are inbuilt in the STATA. So if you don't have any data and you want to play with some data, you can have those data in STATA, you don't need to import it. So let's see how to find out which data set are already inbuilt in STATA, any STATA. If you download a STATA and then open it for the first time in your life, you will have the data inbuilt in STATA. So how to see that? You will use sys use. Sys use stands for system use, so this data are in the system. Then you put dir, so this is the directory. So sys use dir, so you have all the data. So you have auto data, auto 16, auto 2, then cancer data, census data. So let's say we want to see, or we want to play with the auto data. So you will write sys use auto. Now you see the inbuilt data is recalled. So if you write pro, all the inbuilt data. So let's clear it. What about other data? Let's say we want to see what is the cancer data inbuilt in STATA. So you write sys use cancer. So sys use cancer, let's write pro. So you have the inbuilt cancer data. So whatever it is, let's see, we have some you have some data in Excel, with whether it's imported data, you import it from your folder, or whether it's the inbuilt data like auto data, cancer data, whatever it is. Now you have the data in your STATA and you did all the analysis. We haven't done any analysis yet, which will come in the next video. But for example, we have done all the analysis. Now you want to export it. How to export it? So there are several ways in which you can export it. One of the ways is just write down the save command. So you write save, this one is cancer, so let's say cancer dot DTA. We put replace and let's see if it works. Okay, then execute it, go back, see save cancer.dta replace, fail cancer not found because it's the new file, but it's saved. So you go to here again, you see the cancer file is saved here. So this is one way to save it. If you want to save it in a DTA file, like the STATA dataset file, you have to, after setting up the relative path, you have to just write down save whatever the name of the file .dta replace. Okay, let's see how to, if we want to export it to a Excel file, or if you want to export it to a CSV file, how to do it. So the best way to do is go back here, you go export, then you go, let's say we want to put it in the CSV file, so let's say CSV variable, what variable you want to export, so we put it empty, right to the file. So write down, let's say new CSV. Okay, so there are different ways. So comma separated, output use. Okay, now you go back, now you see new CSV. So this is captured in the CSV format. Similar way you can also write it to a Excel format. So you go back again, export, then you go to, you want to do it in XLS, so put it here, variable, all variables, file name, new Excel. Oh, that's one important thing, always put this thing underscore. You should not put like this. If you have a space between the name, it will be very difficult to import it. So always put underscore. So new Excel. So you can have save variables name to the first row in Excel file. Click it. Okay, go back. New CSV, new Excel. So this is your Excel file now. If you open it, you see study, died, drag, ace. If you come back here, put pro, same thing, study time, died, drag. So these are, so in this video we have learned how to, the type of STATA, the type of STATA data, which is the do file, .dta file, log file. How to import the data, we use different ways. One is your GUI way, graphical user interface. One is your command way. Command way can be here, or you can do it from the do files. We learn about do files, how to use do file. We learn about log file. We learned about relative path. We learn how to export the data. So we know how to import, we know how to export, and we know the file format. So the next video will be doing analysis, so describing the data and making graphs and statistical analysis. So I hope this video will be helpful for you. If you find there is something in the video that you don't like, or you want to see any improvement, this is my first video, by the way. I hope the later videos would be much more organized and much less time consuming. This video is already 50 minutes. Sorry for that. Okay, so see you in the next video, and see you in the class. Thank you.